You know what? Actually, sorry. Let's back up on that question. Just got word from the producers that we are going to the draft, so I'd rather get onto that than keep talking about the past. Let's live in the present. Wes, take it away.
We will take it away as soon as we get our pro draft link. We don't quite have it here yet, but I definitely am expecting some changes here. Both teams. This is the great thing about a game going to a best of going to a third game is that we definitely get to see the adaptation from both teams. And that being said, bans coming across pretty similar as we do see the set coming through. Vladimir Malzahar coming through as well. And so as my producer flames me for not seeing the pro draft earlier, I will continue to cast these bans. And yeah, that is just the same thing as we expected from before. Here comes the Silas once again. Once again, the exact same as before. So no adaptation so far. And it looks like these two teams know that since they both won a game, there's an argument for, okay, we just go with what we won with.
Yeah. I'd be very surprised if we didn't see a Veigar ban here. They put all 3 games TSS has banned the Vladimir Malzahar. It's likely that they've been playing it in scrims. The same 3 bans so far they've been going before. Well. Yeah. Likely they've been playing it in scrims. Keeping up both the Veigar and on top of that the Olaf. Really just I guess saying, you know what, we lost last game. We're picking the Olaf away makes sense, but with the Veigar saying, you know, we lost last game, we have a different strategy. They can do their whole, you know, Veigar utility stuff. We're gonna play our game. Doesn't matter what they pick.
Yeah, like you say, they must have seen something so scary in scrims that this Malzahar, Vladimir, Yuumi always have to go. And I guess there's the potential that they want to design their comp not to play around that. The Olaf pick coming in once again, that has been let through. So Jarvan as the response. And, you know, you have to just wonder exactly what Espresso Depresso is going to do to deal with this. But the Veigar coming through again. So we have a full-on salty run back so far from TSS here, or from Espresso Depresso here, as they are going to try to go with the same situation. That being said, so it was bahoutot playing the Olaf in the previous game. Now it's going to be either Blitzblades or Hypoconic playing it this game. So we'll see how that plays out. Aatrox now locked in again.
I really, really like the Jarvan pick by Espresso Depresso. In the other game into the Olaf matchup, they went Sejuani. You know, they kind of got destroyed early. So with the Jarvan, a little bit more early game pick, you don't necessarily need that amount of utility that Sejuani brings, considering the other team comps they've drafted. So the Jarvan, really, really smart, going to bring some early game damage.
Now, this may be another mistake in the pro draft, unless if TSS has something very spicy indeed planned for us, because what I see is a Lee Sin. So Olaf, Aatrox, Lee Sin. After seeing those 3 champions, I have no idea where pretty much any of them are going. So Jarvan, Veigar, also quaking in fear, most likely, seeing those big AD bruisers in their face, and Thresh coming in to deal with Lee Sin engages potentially. So
okay. So hear me out.
All right. I've tried this before. No, okay. Now our producer has confirmed that Lee Sin is an Ekko. So sorry about the lack of clarity with some of these pro drafts. We are starting a charity fund to buy all the LP for these players so that they can do this in client. But for now, we will continue with this. So Lee Sin is Ekko instead of Lee Sin there. So that likely is going mid, which means it does confirm that the Olaf goes into the jungle, the Aatrox goes top lane. Unless if somebody wants me to hear them out about Ekko support, which I may not have the patience, but but Alistar ban coming through and Vayne ban coming through. Actually, the Alistar ban is significant because that's a champion we've seen 100% pick rate in this series so far. So gonna have to be a different support for VirtualBoxs this time.
Yeah, no, I do like the Alistair ban a lot. They're focusing the bot lane again with the Pike ban. This shows that it's probably going to be a lot or Espresso Depresso is going to focus a lot more like how they did on game 1, a lot on the bot side um of TSS. My expectation now is that Espresso Depresso is going to have the next pick. They're not going to pick their AD carry. They're going to wait to see what TSS picks and then probably going to choose for a really favorable matchup in the bot lane.
Yeah, I like that. That's one of the other strengths of feeling comfortable picking Veigar so early is that you don't have to wait for that mid lane counter pick at the end of draft, and so you can focus that on, as you see here, the bot and top lane. Which if you're so comfortable that you know the Veigar is going to do fine in lane, that's definitely another advantage you can gain in this draft. So yeah, we'll see what comes in to answer this Aatrox, and yeah, like we were talking about before, the Ornn's still available. Ornn definitely does fine into Aatrox.
It
And
is a risky pick with the Braum up
yeah,
specifically.
yep, true.
Uh,
Oh,
but that's
Oh, but
spicy. That is jalapenos be damned.
oh
The
man,
TSS
oh.
has the spicier team this time. Lulu Kog'maw is a huge hyper carry power lane for the side
wow.
of TSS on Wheelie. They saw game 1, they saw Wheelie popping off on the Varus, and that was without an Enchantress support. So this time, going with the Lulu Kog'Maw, that is going to be a terrifying thing to witness in the late game if we get that far.
If we get that far, and that's the thing, we have Caitlyn Thresh going up against them, who have an undeniable advantage in the early game, able to by far push that lane out, especially before Kog'Maw reaches level 6 there. So Caitlyn Thresh, very strong in the early game, but like you said, if TSS is able to weather that storm in the early game and able to get this Kog'Maw to the late game, so terrifying, very hard for in a lot of cases for them to get onto this Kog'Maw. You have the Ornn and Jarvan, but what you're going to be looking for is potentially the Veigar with RawkZoors to sneak in and land an ultimate on the Kog'Maw. So we have seen 2 games from these 2 teams. We've seen the entire draft for this game. Now the only thing left to find out is who is going to take this series between TSS or Espresso Depresso. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Game 3 of TSS versus Espresso Depresso here. 1 win each, and this is one of the most exciting games we've had in the Amateur League so far. The 2 number 1 teams, both undefeated, both looking to hand the opposing team their first defeat, and we have seen some explosive situations in both of these games here. Both have been just a slow steamroll to the end for their respective winners. So now finally we are going to see an actual invade, boys. Oh wait, okay, so they're warding. Okay, yeah. So they just warded the red buff, and maybe I went too far with hyping that up that invade. But Espresso Depresso getting a little bit of information there on where the Olaf is starting.
Yeah, no, for sure. That is going to be really valuable in the early game. Especially a bot side ward will show where the jungler is, and it's going to be super important for the bot lane in this game. Chances are this is probably going to be another first game story of the bot lane. Which team can get ahead? You have Kog'Maw, Lulu on one side. A little bit weaker early game, but those characters were made for each other. They synergize so well together, and when they get going, they do not stop. On the other side, though, you have the Caitlyn, you have the Thresh, you have really long range, both damage and engage, really hard to lane against for the Lulu and the Kog'Maw. So it's going to be a battle to see if Wheelie and if Team Solo Simp can kind of stop the bleeding early on and scale into that late game, or if it's going to be Espresso Depresso just steamrolling their opponents.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and Kog'Maw has a reputation for being super weak early, but honestly, in my opinion, once he hits level 4, he can trade really well with a lot of early game carries. Like, getting, I think it's like 3% max HP damage on every auto. Like, once he gets attack speed, he's going to be solid. Like, you can't trade when he has that Kog'Maw.
Yeah, definitely something that people can underestimate is that early Kog'Maw damage. Very good point there. Not only that, but Lulu, of course, very good at poking in the early game as well to be able to put out a lot of damage there. And so we'll see if they can use that to fight against this undeniably powerful lane of Caitlyn and Thresh. Here you can already see them pushing into the turret there, but not able to deny any farm just yet. So we'll see if Jolopenos can do that. Meanwhile, already a gank coming in on the Ekko. Revivination going to have to flash away from this. Is he going to be able to do so? Yep, he finally does. So he saved it for a while there. I'm not sure he needed to take that risk, but he does get away. So he calculated exactly what he needed to do to escape that. So his flash has been blown, and hoping for a return gank there from Kid Kirito. The teleport now also having to be expended by Revivination to get back into lane, not to miss that wave that has been pushed in. So
really smart by Kid Kirito to go mid lane. Now Ekko has to live in fear every time he's in lane. With the RawkZoors having the glacial augment, even to CS, he has a legitimate threat of being engaged on. All Veigar needs is an auto attack, so really smart to burn that flash. That's going to make the early game hell for Revivination.
yeah, I guess Revivination had some confidence that he'd be able to get some sort of solo kill onto this Veigar. Ooh, the hook actually comes down, just sneaks it through there. But VirtualBoxs is managing to turn that around. There's Wheelie getting the kill onto Karl DR with that engage. So really nice turnaround there by the bot lane of TSS. That's a beautiful play there by them. And Karl DR went in, took one tower hit, and that was all they needed.
Yeah, Wheelie 29 hitting level 4 a couple minutes early, getting that kill onto Karl DR.
Yeah, 3 equals 4 in this particular match, apparently. Able to do easily enough damage there, as he actually does hit level 4 now, and they're going to be able to push in another wave onto Jolopenos there. So,
yeah,
nice play by the bot lane.
You saw there the strength of Lulu Kog. It is very hard to all in them. Kog'maw, as Kang was saying earlier, gets incredibly strong when he has his W active. You have to really make an effort to play around the W to make sure you're fighting when it's off cooldown or when it's not active. But they try to go for the all-in there. Kog'maw W's up, Lulu's there. Lulu doesn't even need to burn the exhaust to win that one. Large misplay on the side of Oasis Esports.
Yeah, and I guess that's actually the one thing that's hard to quantify is with a champion like Kog'Maw, who's just played less often, it's just play rate is so much lower. It's far less likely that the average player really knows exactly what they're going up against. You know, we hope that these players have prepared for each other's champion pools, but you just don't have enough in-game experience playing against the Kog'Maw to be as comfortable against it as you would be against something like a Varus. And so always interesting to see that. You see there, Karl DR thought that all-in would work, but like you said, very, very difficult to do against this particular lane. So nice play there. And Karl DR, I would say just not necessary to go in like that. Caitlyn Thresh, that's not, you don't win that way. You win by out-farming them and out-pushing them. So hopefully they will be able to get into that strategy instead.
Yeah, you saw even there, there was a large wave that crashed, so Wheelie was able to get some farm. But if they had been able to deny that, Jalapenos would have had a 20 CS lead at 6 minutes. That would have been really, really strong for them. But instead, they try to force it too hard. And now the Kog'Maw's feeling pretty good about himself. Yeah, he's still some CS down, but he's a Kog'Maw that has a kill at 6 minutes in with a Lulu support. He's gonna become a real threat unless he's putting checks in.
Yeah, luckily Jolopenos on the Caitlyn able to go back and get that BF sword. So actually still quite a stat differential in favor of the Caitlyn in this bot lane, and that is going to be very useful in that lane. Even with the early kill on the Kog'Maw, you're still scared of that Caitlyn poke and of that Caitlyn push there with that item completed. So we'll see how that shakes down. Caitlyn still managing to maintain this CS lead here, and however, it looks like they are going to be pushed in themselves now. So definitely Wheelie and VirtualBoxs is doing well to keep priority in this lane.
I think that was actually accidental by Wheelie and VirtualBoxs. I think that was some wave mismanagement. Looks like Jalapenos is just going to be able to freeze pretty effectively here. Yeah, bad.
Yeah, I thought they would be able to crash. I didn't see that other wave. Very good point. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Sorry. Didn't mean to at you like that.
You got to call me out, man. You got to.
No, but it's really they went from a really good position for Kog'Maw. It was at their tower to a pretty bad one. As Kog'Maw, you're pretty okay if it's just under tower most of the time, just getting what CS you can. But now it's frozen in an inopportune spot. They have to back, but even when they get back to lane, they're gonna have to try really hard to shove this lane out, or they're just gonna continue to miss more and more CS.
Yeah, especially against someone like that Caitlyn, who can put those traps up, who outranges you at this point by quite a lot. So, yeah, definitely. I really like when I see good wave management in these at this level, because it's something that can really make the difference. It can win you the entire lane, being able to get that wave in the exact correct position that you need it, and take advantage of mistakes like that from the other team. So, bahoutot going in, not able to do a lot of damage, but out farming the Aatrox by quite a significant margin. So we'll see if he can use that to build some of those items. Another very useful thing about Ornn, very useful is my code here for broken, is that he doesn't have to go back to base in order to build any items. He can do that right from lane. So as long as he has the mana, he can stay.
Yeah, one thing to note though, Olaf opting to go Warrior, whereas on the other side, Jarvan deciding to go Cinderhulk. So Hypoconic looking to be almost a secondary carry, diving the Veigar as well as the Caitlyn, and try to get damage off. Whereas on the other side, J4 really looking for the engages. He's wanting to tank up for his team and maybe sit back and let his team do the work. So a cool dynamic there.
Yeah, and on this patch, they did buff jungle experience. Oh, I'll talk about the patch notes later. Blitzblade's getting engaged on. Blitzblade's having to flash away and still doesn't manage to escape. Kid Kirito coming in. Neither bahoutot or Kid Kirito having to expend flash to get that kill. So beautiful play up there by them, and definitely an overextension by Blitzblades.
Kid Kirito has been so smart this game. They've seen that for most of the game in any case, Jolopenos has been pushing really under tower. So he's been mid about 3 times. He blew the Ekko flash. He came back a few times. For a while there. RawkZoors did have a CS lead, but yeah, wow. Messed up the wave management, so the CS is even. But now he's going topside. He burnt the flash topside on the Ornn that is already 30 CS ahead. He's going to secure Rift Herald. So far, Kid Kirito, really active in this game, has put a lot of pressure on the mid and top side, especially compared to Hypoconic, who's mostly just been farming and still 3 CS behind.
Yeah. And an absolutely excellent play by RawkZoors. He knows that, the Ornn and J4 are going for the Rift Herald, so TSS have to respond with Dragon, and he decides to go down and interrupt and zone them away from the Dragon so that they aren't able to get the trade, and they'll be able to position around Dragon. Now Kid Kirito backed Guts' Cinderhulk and is now setting up vision around that Dragon Pit.
Yeah, really heads up there by RawkZoors. Very good communication between Kid Kirito and him there to be able to control those objectives, like you say. Partly the heads up decision making by just the really good pathing and really nice macro play by Kid Kirito to combine for a huge, actually, early game advantage in terms of objectives. Meanwhile, there still is a gold lead, though, in favor of TSS, and that's because if you look down at the bot lane, you can see in that CS differential, it's about 40 difference, and so definitely still a gold lead being maintained exactly as you'd expect for this Caitlyn. Even with that early kill going down onto the Thresh, still this Caitlyn Thresh lane is able to completely bully out the lane of Espresso Depresso here. So really nice job by them. That's exactly what they need to be doing, and they are making up the objective leads that the Espresso Depresso solo laners have found by maintaining their own lead in that ball.
Yeah, and you see Jojo there on Caitlyn, picking up the double Doran's Blade. Not normal for a character like Caitlyn. You know, Caitlyn really needs to come alive outside of lane phase, and to do that, she needs 2 to 3 items, but wanting to posture so aggressively to just always hit this Kog'Maw. Definitely a little bit more of a risky buy, but shows that he's got the confidence to keep the CS up lead.
Definitely, and you do want that if you're in this situation where you really are. It's an obligation on you to dominate this lane. Now, as Kang mentioned before, with those smart rotations and that smart play by the Veigar there, the Espresso Depresso is able to now take down that dragon once again. So, a really beautiful play by them, and they. Now there's an engage here from bahoutot, takes down Blitzblades with the solo kill somehow, and he's full HP. I don't know what happened there, but definitely not good for Blitzblades.
Yeah, no, the continually you've seen bahoutot just go for quick burst trades, and Blitzblade not really able to respond in any kind. You saw the culmination of it there. Blitzblade just kind of stepping back as bahoutot is able to easily kill him.
Yeah, definitely. And now you see this huge farm lead in both the bottom and top lane in favor of Espresso Depresso here. So a really nice play by them. And yeah, they are in favor of Espresso Depresso here. And so they are going to continue to maintain that lead. And the Jarvan is still holding on to that, so we'll see what he's going to do. Kirito going in on this, and that's a lot of damage now going down, so the Ekko going to burst him down and get him to back off there, but yeah, still coming in decisive early game victory here coming in from Espresso Depresso, and now the Rift Herald is summoned. It was about to expire, so they just sort of had to use it here. Looks like they are going to get at least quite a bit of damage down onto this turret here. Revivination now.
Really nice by Revivination. You saw him E behind to get the eye before it charged. Rift Shell damage is actually based on how much HP it has, so getting the eye before the charge took out a huge amount of damage that it would have otherwise given to the tower.
Yeah, definitely. So, and then very easy to take it down once it had applied that damage. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Jolopenos and Karl DR, no surprises there. They have almost gotten their own tower to look to 0 HP down there, so they are going to be able to do that. The stun coming down in mid lane. We'll see if that fight, anything comes to that fight. It's still going on, and our directed cam is not interested in it. Here's the ultimate coming in from Revivination, now completely out of mana, but he is going to chase, and that stun just a little bit too defensive there from RawkZoors, not able to land onto the Ekko.
That was an insane ultimate by the Revivination. He actually dodged the ultimate from the Veigar with it completely. That would have been surely his death, but there's some god tier reaction time from Revivination, saving his life and giving up what is otherwise a nice lead in the mid lane.
Yeah, nice play there by Revivination, able to avoid that and able to not give up the only lead they have in terms of farm, with that Ekko being able to outfarm the Veigar by a decent amount there, about 20 CS up, about 10 CS up, I should say. And now you see another push coming down from bahoutot into Blitzblades here, and he is well in the lead in farm in that lane. So those solo lanes, those bot lanes. Oh, as I say that, the ultimate comes in from Caitlyn. They take down the turret. Huge plays coming down in the bot lane while I'm just talking about the tanks beating up on each other in the top.
Oh, Jalapeno's not really in any trouble though. Thresh is here, can lantern him out if necessary.
So much damage as well. Oh, Hypoconic just not able to do that. And Espresso Depresso looks completely dominant in this game. So, yeah, almost no silver linings here to speak of in terms of what TSS is able to do here. So the only thing you can do is try to get this Kog'Maw to scale up and try not to die too many more times or lose too many more turrets to this hyper-pushing Caitlyn here, who's almost at 200 CS, less than 20 minutes into...
Yeah, even if...
Oh, the ultimate comes in. Hang on, Revivination going in. Now the stun, he goes right back into the stun. The mechanic's not so on point this time, but does manage to avoid the death there from RawkZoors. But Revivination tries to ultimate in. He's trying to make plays. He's really realizes that he's the only one with the lead here.
Yeah, no, Revivination, you saw again though, was able to dodge the ultimate from the Veigar now twice in a row, showing that it's not just a fluke and that he really does have these insane reaction times to be able to pull off these moves like that.
VirtualBoxs is now coming in, taking a lot of damage, now has to flash away from the Thresh Lantern. Ooh, steps up very aggressively there, and RawkZoors has to flash away as well. Now Wheelie taking a bunch of damage here, and health bars in the favor of Espresso Depresso in this situation, but TSS able to escape with no deaths in this case.
This is where it's really, really scary for TSS, is because they don't really have any good wave clear on their team, and Caitlyn can sit so far back and just hit your tower, as well as Veigar can threaten engages under tower with the cage. So they're just gonna have to concede a lot of tower pressure here. Rift Herald comes down. It's gonna be 2 towers in one quick push for Espresso Depresso.
Yeah, it's the second Rift Herald, like almost the fastest 2 Rift Heralds I've ever seen in a row. They're going to get a hit on that. Don't quite finish off the tower, but Caitlyn able to do a lot here. And Hypoconic, no ultimate available, so wasn't able to threaten that Caitlyn that much, especially with Thresh waiting in the wings there. This dragon, second dragon, now going down. Cloud Soul taken out. And so we are going to see which soul we get. It is going to be Mountain. And so very useful here, but not as bad as it could be. Wheelie 29 not caring too much about Mountain Soul in many cases, as he is going to be shredding their HP with he's going to be shredding that with pretty much just 1 auto attack. So Ornn here, another solo kill. Look at that combo, lots of damage. Blitzblade's having to flash again. Hypoconic here to help.
Yeah, you can really see bahoutot has the mechanical outplay to click 2 buttons and be able to half health the enemy Aatrox. Shows how good this Ornn pick is, and why why every single game Red Side has picked it as pick number 4.
Yeah, that Ornn is so strong, as we continue to mention. Now VirtualBoxs way too far up again. You're not Alistar this game, Virtual. You can't do that. And he does go down from that hook, so he gets caught out there. Meanwhile, Blitzblade's still struggling extremely hard in this top lane, and that mid lane turret is going down. So not looking good here for TSS. They need to be protecting this Kog'Maw, and really they need to be trying to not let so many objectives go down so that they can get this Kog'Maw to the late game.
Yeah, I said earlier they need to stop the bleeding, and with what keeps happening is they don't seem to be stopping the bleeding. They actually just seem to be cutting themselves and opening up the bleeding more and more. You even see here Hypoconic way out of position. They knew they didn't have vision. They saw them going the top side of jungle, and he's going to give over another kill to Jolopenos. VirtualBoxs twice in a row. First time had to blow his flash, as once again way out of position by Revivination. He goes down. CC not able to dodge the stun this time.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, over and over. VirtualBoxs walk to mid lane, had to blow flash to dodge Thresh hook. Walks to mid lane, gets Thresh hook. You saw Hypoconic gets caught out trying to get CS, and then Revivination goes and I guess tries to pick up Hypoconic's corpse or something. I don't know what he was doing there, and he gets caught.
It just looks like a little bit of tilt coming in. It looks like a little bit of discouragement coming in from the side of Team Solo Simps here. They are just not playing to the standard that we've seen from them before. They are making some mistakes they don't need to be making, and I think that Espresso Depresso, with their really oppressive lane phases, with their really strong rotations, are getting into their heads a little bit. I think it's the only way you can explain these types of mistakes, where they're getting caught out this way. And let's hope that TSS is able to sort of, recover from this mental boom that they've got going on. Revivination gets stunned again. He does have ultimate available. He ults up to get closer now to RawkZoors, who is saved easily by the Thresh Lantern. So
smart play by the RawkZoors this time. You saw he didn't ult immediately. He didn't waste it. Being so confident with Revivination dodging it twice, saves the cooldown. He's going to be able to nuke anyone. Chances are probably the Olaf. Olaf went behind like he is now. He went the Warrior enchantment. Is going to be so squishy running into a team. When you uses that Ragnarok, his ultimate ability, he actually loses armor and MR from what he has normally. So he's going to run in, get bursted down really quickly, especially with the Veigar ult. That Olaf has about a life expectancy of about 2.5 seconds in a team fight.
Exactly, and this is exactly the problem you run into with Olaf. So the way you need to play it is he's a very strong early game, so you need to get ahead in the early game. You need to get ahead, because if you're not, this is exactly what happens to you. You run into a team and you're not crowd controlled, but it doesn't matter because your health bar disappears. And so this is the problem you can run into with Olaf. Here's Hypoconic trying to go in, does dodge out of Kid Kirito's ultimate, but he ultimates him in here. He's actually able to take a lot of damage here, but the Caitlyn ultimate not able to be blocked. Karl DR now caught out, and the cage comes down again. Blitzblade's now in the thick of things, not able to fight off the 3-man gank here. Revivination now trying to fight the Ornn. He has ultimate available, and he does actually get the damage. Nice play there. Looks like bahoutot might go down. Revivination, nice solo kill, but at what cost? Inhibitor going down in the mid lane, and Revivination with the last stand there. Really nice job, but is it? I don't believe it's going to be enough in this case.
Yeah, no, no, for sure. That was a really nice play, but in the grand scheme of things, that means he's not with his team defending the mid lane inhibitor. I do want to say, TSS is not out completely. You see now, Wheelie almost done his second item. A second item, Kog'Maw normally isn't that strong, or rather isn't as strong as what you normally consider the spike of 3-item Kog'Maw. Yep. But Lulu with the Ardent Sensor, it adds so much to Kog'Maw. You get the extra picks damage, and he autos about 30 times a second, so it's huge. On top of that, you're increasing attack speed. This game is looking very bad for TSS, but it's not quite over yet. All they have to do is get 1 or 2 more items on the Kog'Maw, and then they're winning this game. 1 or 2 fight go bad for the side of Espresso Depresso, and TSS is back in this game.
Totally agree. They've had their base broken, but the mid lane is the only thing, and we're 24 minutes in. Okay, here's Hypoconic. Already can tell he's confident with these 2 items nearly completed, but still taking a lot of damage here is Hypoconic, as Wheelie not able to put enough pressure just yet. Ultimate coming down there. And mid lane inhibitor broken, so that's the sticking point here for the plan you just outlined for TSS. They need to survive these next few minutes where this inhibitor is down. Super minions, very strong super minions for the level, are pushing in at 24 minutes. And they need to weather this storm so that they can get that Kog'Maw exactly to that late game power spike. Now bahoutot going for the ultimate. He just used that to zone them away. Wait, Hypoconic, a lot of damage, but are just going to take out this turret here. Dark Pages avoid.
Revivination or Hypoconic need to get on the side right now. They need to find a way to pressure the back line. Otherwise, this is what's going to keep happening. They're going to just keep losing towers. You can't come from the front.
Here he is, Revivination coming in the back. He's so alone, though. He does manage to get the ultimate off and flashes away. Turret has already gone down. Hypoconic having to flash away as well, and Wheelie completely out of mana, so he's not able to get his attacks steroid, but he still does a lot of damage to Kid Kirito. Now he's pulled in. Karl DR hits a really clutch hook in the middle of that fight. Now we have Blitzblades going in on that Aatrox, trying to kill the Caitlyn, but he's CC'd up. He's 5v1 here. This might be the game, folks. Such a nice fight, such a nice push, and Wheelie was totally out of mana in that fight. He couldn't do enough damage there.
So well played this whole game by the side of Espresso Depresso. They got a lead early, and they just slowly and methodically kept taking objectives around the map. You see, it's only a 15-kill game. Before the last few minutes, it was only about a 6-kill game. All they did is all macro, is all objective control. Incredibly well played by the side of Espresso Depresso.
So Espresso Depresso will take this game 2-1. And that is going to put them in sole possession of the first place spot as TSS moves down to second place with their first defeat against the still undefeated Espresso Depresso.